Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're working on this Honda push mower for a customer. He says it's bogging down when he cuts. We're going to give it a once over and a tune up and see what happens. It's an overhead valve engine. We're going to pull that cover off. I'm going to find specs and make sure those valves are right. And yeah, see what happens. It's got a plastic deck. Huh. It's got a crazy 2-blade system underneath it. I don't know what the purpose is, but there's actually like 2 blades sandwiched together underneath there. These mowers are kind of interesting. It has a blade clutch. So one of those handles up there will engage and disengage just the blades and leave the engine running. That's kind of interesting, actually. I like it. It's a good idea. We'll get you in a stand, get you situated, get some tools fired up, and we'll jump into this project and see what becomes of it. Okay, first things first. The main concern is that it's bogging down. So we're going to do a tune-up. I don't think it's been done in quite a while. The pre-filter is a little dirty. It's not terrible. It's a little dirty. The paper element filter got some dust in it. We're just going to blow that stuff out with the compressed air, and that'll be golden. We're going to change the spark plug. We're going to change the oil. We're going to pop that valve cover off, or the rocker cover, and we're going to check the valves. But the main concern is bogging down, and this is going to be the reason why. It is pretty clumpy in there. It's absolutely packed full of grass. So the grass can't mulch and drop out, and that usually comes from that grass is a ½ inch thick. Well, here, check that out. The grass is extremely thick, and that usually happens when you cut grass that's wet. So I'll let them know that this needs to be scraped once in a while, and it's you really shouldn't cut it when it's wet, but here and there, it doesn't matter. We're going to scrape all that out for them, clean them out. Plastic deck, so it's not going to rot, which is cool. One freaky thing about these Honda mowers is they've got a double blade system. It's actually 2 blades stacked on top of each other. I don't know why. I don't know the theory behind it, but this is more than one of these Honda mowers that I've seen with a double blade set like that. If you're watching this video and you know why or what the theory is behind that double blade set, drop me a comment below, because I like to learn, and it's interesting to me, the different designs and engineering behind it. So before I dig all that crap out, I'm going to put a piece of cardboard underneath there, and I'll drop it onto the cardboard so it's not all over my lift table, and then that'll just go in my yard bag when the garbage guy comes. So anyways, like I said, if you know why or what the theory is behind it, please post it down below so we know and everybody knows, and we all learn something every day. But let's dive into it anyways. The air filter's fine. I'm going to grab a ratchet and pop that. Oh, this ratchet. I'm going to get this ratchet and take that spark plug out. Probably have one in stock. Not sure. But we'll see. If I don't have one in stock, it's easy enough to get one. I do stock them for Briggs. I stock them for the flatheads and most Briggs riding mowers. They're very common, so we'll see. It's an NGK BPR5ES. Yeah, I believe that's an RC12YC. RN12YC. It's not terrible. It's not clean. Got some freaky deposits on it. Oh, come on, just focus for me. Anyways, that'll get a new one. Top of the piston's got a little bit of carbon on it. I don't see any splatter. I don't see any melty spots. I don't see any trouble staring me in the face. I'm pretty sure that's an RC12YC. Or RN12YC. BPR5ES. Equivalent? Yep, RC12YC. That's what's going in it. That's a champion equivalent anyways. For some reason That's not right. That doesn't belong in there. I had my spark plugs mixed up. It was in the wrong box. There we go. Now we got the right plug. Just to verify, we'll check our reach. Thread diameter is the same, reach is the same. Reach is, out of all the specs, I consider the reach to be most important, because if the reach is too long, it'll smack a piston, and that causes major damage. That's expensive damage, but heat ratings and all that stuff, yeah, it certainly does make a difference, but I would say the most critical is your reach. Come on, get in there. Wrong socket. Change over to a 5/8 spark plug socket. Get that beast threaded in there. I'm not going to pull that cover off until I've got the oil drained out of it. Good and snug. Let's do our oil change. I'm going to fire it up, let it run a minute, let it warm up. That way the oil will flow it a little better. And go from there. Should be able to start this just sitting here on the table. Okay, so it's nice and warm now. I can feel the back of the engine block. It's warm. It's good enough. That's all we need. I'm going to spin her around so we can tip it over. Dump the oil. Oh no. Oh no. The grass is extremely wet. I think if I squeeze it, water will come out of it. Full gun. The oil I change out of these engines gets repurposed and recycled appropriately, so they don't like grass and stuff in it. Plugs up their filters that they use to strain it. Oh yeah, she was due. A little dark. She was due. Alright. Got a tray over here. Give her a tilt. Oh yeah. That's a heavy mower. Yeah, she's pretty black. Yeah, we were due. Well, that didn't go to plan. There's a mess on my table. Not supposed to do that. almost there. It was a little low too, so down to drips. Call that good enough. Okay, now I've got to clean up my table. Okay, so we're going to leave the oil empty for now because there's a couple of things we want to do. We're going to take that cover off. Oh, now I got to wait to do it. I'm supposed to set the valves when they're cold. I got to wait for the engine to cool before I set the valves. But we're gonna scrape the deck anyways. I'll get an old pizza box. We'll open it up. I'll tip the mower on its side. It's one of the reasons you want to do it when the oil's empty. And scrape the deck out. Okay, so the engine's cooled down now. You can set the valves. Always disconnect the spark plug wire when you're cleaning under your deck because you're going to be turning that blade. So you don't want anything to start while you're turning blades. So always disconnect the plug wire and make sure that the spark plug's empty. You're not going to get any spark going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the engine over until one of the rockers moves all the way down. This one is currently down, but I'm going to pull it anyways and show you. So pull it slow. There's our exhaust valve. It's all the way down. Exhaust valve is all the way down. So what I'm doing is there's the carburetor's here and the exhaust is here. So I'm just looking in there and I'm following where the casting passages are, because that's your intake valve and that's your exhaust valve. There's the exhaust passage is right here, cast into the aluminum. That's your exhaust valve. Goes to the muffler. The intake one goes up on an angle here and it goes in behind this valve. So there's our rockers. We need to set those adjustments. So your spec is 0.15 millimeter on the top on the exhaust and 0.2 millimeters on the 0.15 on the intake, 0.20 millimeters on the exhaust. Feeler blades are more modern. Feeler blades have metric and fractional on there. So we're going to use a 6 thou, which is 0.152, and we're going to use an 8 thou, which is 0.203. So it's close enough. Intake 0.15. We're going to use this one, get it in there, and you just want a slight drag on it. We're going to check it first before we set it. That's pretty loose. So the 10 millimeter nut here is your lock. The 14 millimeter is your adjustment. Sometimes you can turn them both together. You don't even have to loosen the lock. You can turn them together and just get the small amount of adjustment you need. Not the case in this one. You don't want to break that stuff off. So just crack that loose a little. Let's see if we can do the same trick. And yes, we can. Nice. So I did tighten it just a little. We're talking small movements here. Very small adjustments. Just want to feel a little bit of a drag on the feeler blade. That's perfect. So now we're going to hold the lock, or hold the adjustment, and we're just going to make sure that the lock is tight. 10 mil nut. On this, in this case, sometimes they're Torx, sometimes everyone's a little bit different. So that one's good, that one's set. Now we're going to rotate it over so the intake valve is all the way down, and then the exhaust valve should be all the way up. There we go. It's not moving anymore. There's our exhaust valve is loose. We want our 8 thou feeler blade, or 0.203 millimeters. Let's check that one. A little bit loose. Let's see if we can do our trick on this one. Yep, nice. Small adjustment. Need a little bit more. this isn't something you have to do every oil change, but I don't know the history of the mower. I don't know if this has ever been done. So, he's got a complaint. That's just about perfect there. Just a slight drag on that feeler blade. I don't know if it's ever been done, so I'm going to make sure that it is done for him. And we're going to hold our adjuster. We're going to make sure our lock is tight. You don't want the adjuster to move. Lock is tight. That's done. I'm going to wipe that down with a rag and brake clean. I'm going to wipe the gasket on the cover with a rag and brake clean. And I'm going to put just a skin of RTV silicone on it. And we'll get that jammed back on there. We're safe to put our plug wire back on right now. We're just going to get some brake clean. On a shop towel. You can usually get away with doing the brake clean in an RTV on these. There's no real pressure in here. Just crankcase pressure, and it's vented anyways. Just give the valve cover a wipe as well. There's a small split in this gasket, but should be alright. A little wiping. Silicone to seal up that little split. Get all the dirt out of there first. Okay, just gotta grab some silicone and then we'll put it back on there. Okay, so all I do is I just put some out on my finger. I just want to put just a film. Just a film. Doesn't have to be thick, doesn't have to be a bead. There's already a gasket on it. We just want to make sure that the gasket seals. A little more. Okay, we can just slide our bolts back on there. Make sure it says OHV, not some weird alien language. OHV, overhead valves. That's what we want. Once this is on there, then we can fill our oil up. According to the specs, this engine would like to have 10W30 in it, so that's what we're going to put. And then this one is pretty well ready for the customer. It's currently the start of the summer. We're still getting a lot of some rains. The grass is growing pretty good. We're cutting our grass every 2 days here. Otherwise it gets unruly. Yeah, not even a drop came out, so yeah, that's done. Dunzo. Put some oil in it. Call the customer. Tell him to get his mower. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me on this video, guys. Just a quick repair. I'm pretty sure that's the entire yard bag full of grass is what was causing his bogging issue. So it's the first of these Honda mowers I've had in the shop with a plastic deck. Interesting. It's a good idea. These are heavy mowers. I think specs say they're something like 86, I don't know, 80 pounds or something. They're heavy, I know that. Even with the plastic deck. So thanks again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell icon if you haven't yet, and you will get notified when I upload new videos. Till the next one, guys, take care. See you later.